Sanctuary shattered. The sacrifice of Rebecca White. Tragic paradox: every day, thousands of mental health professionals walk into small, quiet offices to sit across from people battling their darkest impulses. It is a profession built on the belief that anyone can change. But on January 19, 2026, that belief was met with a brutal, senseless reality. Rebecca White, a woman who dedicated her life to helping others thrive, was met with the very violence she worked so hard to heal.
Lethal Ledger.
Today, on Lethal Ledger, we track the final hours of a caregiver who became a victim and the dark history of the man who took her life. The scene at Lee Road. It was a Monday evening in Orlando. Inside the Down-to-Earth Therapy Solutions office, 44-year-old Rebecca White was finishing her final session of the day. Her client, a man in his 30s, was in the middle of a therapeutic breakthrough when the door, a barrier that should have been secure, was breached. Michael Smith, 39, didn't have an appointment. He wasn't there for a check-in. According to witnesses, he forced his way in with a singular, aggressive focus. He wanted to talk to Rebecca. When Rebecca attempted to de-escalate the situation and her client reached for his phone to call 911, the office transformed from a sanctuary into a crime scene. The attack in the 911 call. The details are harrowing. Smith pulled a knife and lunged at the client first, stabbing her multiple times as he tried to summon help. Rebecca, true to her nature, didn't run. She stood her ground. In the ensuing struggle, she was fatally wounded. Orange County deputies arrived at the 900 block of Lee Road just before 9 p.m. They found a bloodied scene that shocked even veteran officers. Rebecca was rushed to a nearby hospital, but the damage was done. The woman who had spent years saving minds could not be saved by medicine. Her client, however, clung to life, undergoing emergency surgery for critical stab wounds. A survivor of a night that claimed his protector. The dark history of Michael Smith. Who was Michael Smith, and how did he end up in that office? The investigation revealed a man with a profile that should have triggered every alarm. Smith was a registered sex offender with a record that read like a horror script. He had previously served a staggering 22 years in a Florida prison for a 2002 case involving kidnapping and sexual battery. The Manhunt's grim conclusion. As deputies searched for Smith's vehicle, the community held its breath. The search ended the following morning near the Mormon Temple on Windy Ridge Road. There, investigators found Smith's body. He had taken his own life, choosing a final act of cowardice rather than facing the lethal ledger of his own making. He was a former client of Rebecca's. In the world of therapy, professionals often work with high-risk individuals, believing that through clinical intervention, the cycle of violence can be broken. We don't know yet what triggered Smith that night, but we know he fled the scene immediately after the stabbing, sparking a massive overnight manhunt across Central Florida. The manhunt's grim conclusion. As deputies searched for Smith's vehicle, the community held its breath. The search ended the following morning near the Mormon Temple on Windy Ridge Road. There, investigators found Smith's body. He had taken his own life, choosing a final act of cowardice rather than facing the lethal ledger of his own making. But for Rebecca's family, his death brought little closure. They are left asking how a violent offender was able to enter a professional building after hours. They are calling for answers regarding building security and the safety protocols for therapists who work late into the night. The legacy of a healer. Rebecca White's mission statement for her practice was to empower individuals to go beyond survival toward thriving. She specialized in trauma, anxiety, and the complex human condition. Her colleagues describe her as a shining light in the Orlando clinical community. Her death highlights the silent danger of her profession. Therapists often work alone, late at night, with individuals who are at their most volatile. Rebecca died doing the work she loved, protecting a client and facing the darkness head-on. Rebecca White's name is now etched in a story of sacrifice. If you or someone you know is in a domestic or professional situation that feels unsafe, please reach out for help. Details for support lines are in the description below. For the Lethal Ledger, subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on the cases that demand to be told. Rest in peace, Rebecca.
The Ledger Leak.